In 1995, experts predicted you'd have a robot butler by now. In 2008, they said gas would hit $20 a gallon. In 2019, they called the 2020s the decade of calm. They were all wrong. And here's the strange part. They were all smart. So what went wrong? I'm going to spend the next 6 minutes dismantling 3 things you probably believe about the future. Not because you're naive, because almost everyone believes them. And they're holding you back from actually being ready for what's coming. This is the first video in a course about thinking about tomorrow. Not predicting it, thinking about it. There's a difference, and that difference is going to matter to your career, your money, your kids, and your sanity over the next 20 years. Let's start with lie number 1. It's the big one. Lie number 1. The future is something you predict. We grow up thinking the future is a thing experts can see and the rest of us can't. Weather forecasters predict storms. Economists predict recessions. Tech bros predict which app will be huge next year. And sometimes they're right, which keeps the whole game running. But here's what nobody tells you. Weather prediction works because the atmosphere follows physics. Stock predictions don't work because markets are made of people, and people change their behavior based on the prediction itself. That's the trap. The more a prediction matters, the harder it is to make. Anything involving humans, the economy, technology adoption, politics, your career, has a feedback loop built in. Predict it loudly enough, and you change the thing you're predicting. So if prediction doesn't work, what does? Foresight. And foresight is not prediction. Foresight is the discipline of being ready for several possible futures, instead of betting everything on one. A prediction says, this will happen. A foresight practice says, here are 4 things that could happen, and here's how I'd handle each one. That sounds like more work. It is. But it's the only thing that actually works. The people who navigated the last 20 years well, financially, professionally, personally, almost never predicted what happened. They prepared for more than one thing. We'll come back to this. For now, just notice, when someone tells you what the future will be, they're either selling something or fooling themselves. Often both. Pause for a moment. Think of one prediction someone made to you recently. What were they actually selling? Lie number 2. This one's quieter, but it might be the most damaging. The lie is this. The future is something that happens to you. You're a passenger. The future is the road. Your job is to brace for impact, adapt as best you can, and hope. This is how most people live, and it's wrong. Here's the truth nobody puts on a motivational poster. The future is being built right now by people who decided to build it. Most of them aren't famous. Most of them aren't powerful. Some of them are kind of weird. Seatbelts in cars. That was a fight. A small group of people pushed for decades against an industry that didn't want it. Marriage equality in dozens of countries. Same story. The decline of smoking in public spaces. Same story. Public libraries, the weekend, childhood vaccinations. None of these were inevitable. None of them happened to anyone. They happened because people, usually small groups, usually unfunded, usually told they were unrealistic, refused to accept the future they were handed. The future isn't a road you're stuck on. It's a field you're walking through. There are paths, but there are also choices, and the choices compound. Now, I'm not saying you can do anything. There are big forces moving that no individual stops. Climate, demographics, technology shifts, those are real, and we'll talk about them honestly later in the course. But within those forces, there's enormous room to maneuver. The question isn't what will happen. The question is, what do I want, and what's the smallest move I can make this week toward it? That's not optimism, that's just accuracy. Pause again. Name one thing in your life right now that you assumed was just how things are. What if it isn't? Lie number 3. This one might be the weirdest to swallow. There is no such thing as the future. There are futures, plural. We talk about the future like it's a single destination, like 2050 is a place we're all driving toward, and we'll find out what's there when we arrive. That's not how it works. 2050 is going to be wildly different depending on which choices get made between now and then. By governments, by companies, by communities, by you. Futurists have a name for this. It's called the cone of plausibility. Don't worry about memorizing it. We'll come back to it. Just notice the shape. The future isn't a point, it's a cone. It widens the further out you look. Some futures are probable. The path of least resistance. What happens if nothing surprises us? Some are plausible. They could happen, given what we know. Some are merely possible. They'd require things to go quite differently. And then there's the most important one, preferable. The future you actually want. Notice that preferable cuts across the others. Sometimes the future you want is probable. Often it isn't. Sometimes it's only possible if a lot of people work toward it. This is why the first two lies matter so much. If you believe the future is predicted, you wait for someone to tell you what it is. If you believe it happens to you, you don't bother choosing a preferable one. If you believe it's one thing, you don't realize you're picking between options every single day. The whole rest of this course is built on the opposite of those three lies. The future is uncertain, you have agency, and there are many of them. We're going to give you the tools to live like that's true. Because it is. Before I let you go, one small assignment. Smaller than it sounds. Sometime today, at lunch, on the walk home, lying in bed tonight, notice one moment when you assumed tomorrow would look like today. Just one. The route you'll drive, the job you'll have, the way your kid talks to you, the weather, the price of something. Don't try to predict whether you're right. Just notice the assumption. That's it. That's the whole assignment. Because here's the thing. Almost every assumption you have about tomorrow is a quiet bet. And if you've never even noticed you're betting, you can't get any better at it. In the next video, we're going to look at why everything is connected to everything else, and why a drought in Brazil shows up in your morning coffee and changes politics in Kenya. It's the most important mental model in this whole course, and most people never learn it. I'll see you there.